Hello, everyone, and welcome to the webinar. My name is Nancy Culp, and I'm Director of Employee Benefits at Cornerstone. Today, we're joined by Vince Sowell, Kathy Shiplett, and Nancy Kuzenko from Anthem to review the SOCA MEWA and ACA updates, as well as ancillary bonus opportunities. But before we get into that, I'd like to start with just a little housekeeping here. We'll start with a little housekeeping. If you've got any questions throughout the presentation, you can type them in the chat box on the GoToWebinar dashboard, and we'll get to them at the end of the presentation. My contact information is on the screen if you would like to get in contact with me or your local Cornerstone rep if you have any questions. Also, be sure to give us a follow on social media. We post industry and Cornerstone updates and information. Go to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or YouTube to give us a follow. Autopilot is a compensation-based client referral program that offers the services of licensed representatives to quote, enroll, support, and provide year-round service to clients that may fall out of your business scope, but never off your radar. Activate Autopilot today on the Cornerstone website. Got a little trouble here. There we go. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to register for the Cash Incentive Program, which rewards our brokers with up to $7,000 in cash prizes for new business sales between January 1st of 2021 and December 31st of 2021. You can register today at www.crnstone.com. All right, and now I'm going to hand it off to Nancy Kuzenko with Anthem.
Super. Thanks, Nelson. Hopefully everybody can see my screen now. So this is Nancy Kuzenko. I'm with Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. My counterparts are Vince Sowell in the central region and Kathy Shiplett down south in the Dayton, Cincinnati market. So we want to thank our partners at Cornerstone for making this program available today. The first thing we're going to do is recap the SOCA benefit plan. So yourtimematters.com, this web link, this is your source, certainly, for any marketing materials that you may need to support our plans. You can certainly reach out to your Cornerstone broker advisor for marketing pieces as well. So one of the things that we wanted to do was recap some of the questions that we see coming across the state, just so everybody's comfortable with our base guidelines. So our participation requirements for SOCA MEWA, also known as SOCA BP or SOCA benefit plan, it's all talking about the same program. Our participation is 75% after valid waivers. We need at least 2 eligible employees, at least both of those employees need to reside in Ohio with at least 2 employees enrolling, unless we're looking at a sole proprietor. Once we have our 2 Ohio employees, any other employees can be out of state. Certainly, SOCA MEWA is an option for employers with at least 2 employees to no more than 50 total, full and part-time. Dual option is available with 3 or more enrolled employees. We can do triple option with 10 or more enrolled employees. Sole proprietors we'll talk about a little bit further in another slide, but we want to stress the importance. The only way we can write a sole proprietor is if they receive their wages on IRS 1040 Schedule C or Schedule SE and Schedule F. If they cannot provide that tax documentation, maybe because they're a new sole proprietor, maybe they're a one-person S Corp. We are not going to be able to issue unless we can get Schedule C or Schedule SE. The other thing we want to reconfirm is my COBRA plan is the COBRA and state continuation vendor that's been selected by the SOCA benefit plan. So that is included in any of the pricing. We can't remove my COBRA plan because the workflows are all integrated. So if the group is using a different COBRA vendor, the only way they would be permitted to continue to use their vendor is if they had dental and vision with another carrier outside of Anthem. But for the medical, my COBRA plan is going to be the continuation vendor. The other thing we want to make sure that everybody's comfortable with, and again, as a reminder, you can put questions in the chat, is Anthem is always going to be primary when it comes to Medicare for any SOCA MEWA groups. So if somebody's 65, we can make Medicare be primary or make a request to CMS through what's called a C's exception package. And CMS would either approve or deny that request. If they approve it, Medicare would be primary. The person that is over 65 would need to have parts A and B. If the C's package is not returned, Anthem would continue to be primary for that particular member. So super important. That's kind of outside of kind of what everybody knows as far as Medicare secondary payer. And then new sold case paperwork, we still want to stress that we'd like to have those groups submitted by the 15th of the month. Anthem Sales Management is very, very convicted to making sure that people have ID cards in their hands by the effective date. Because we've changed some of our internal workflows, we can take those groups past the 15th. Super, super important that you let your Cornerstone broker advisor know if you're going to be submitting business after the 15th, so they can coordinate back with Kathy Vincerai. Pre-screens, as a reminder, are still submitted through FormFire. So all pre-screens, all new business still is sent either to the Anthem underwriting mailbox or to SOCA BP new case install through FormFire in an electronic format. What has changed as of last May is any ongoing maintenance is no longer done through FormFire. So all of those electronic feeds were discontinued, and any of those adds, changes, or terminations actually get processed in real time on Anthem's employer access site by either the broker or the employer. What's great about our MEWA plans is we use full Blue Access PPO network, including full Blue Card and the essential 4-tiered list on our standard, what we're going to call 2-tiered plans. So there's an in-network benefit and an out-of-network benefit. Our 3-tiered plans, level 1 and level 2 in-network benefits, and then the third level is out-of-network, is called our Blue Access Options plans. We have 3 of them available on the platform. In order to search the provider directory and to find out who is level 1 and who is level 2 from a contracting standpoint, provider-wise, you need to search the Blue Access Options. So the word option is key, network, and then it takes that directory and actually returns the results by who is level 1, level 2. Still uses the essential 4-tiered formulary list with the RX Choice tiered network. And then our new Anthem Link plans, so that's our high performance network. That uses the Blue Connection HMO network, still with the essential 4-tiered formulary list and RX Choice network. Another change that we made available to our MEWA groups, beginning with February 1 new business effective dates and later, can be added to existing groups as renewal, is the availability of an integrated HSA banking option through ActWise. ActWise PNC is in the process of changing their HSA custodian. So you're going to see that ActWise language get changed over to Wealth Care Saver. So we just want to confirm this is a name change only. There's no changes to any account numbers, banking processes, or debit cards. Domestic partners based on popular broker request are eligible to be covered with 1/1/21 effective dates and later. It can be added to existing groups at renewal. The employer application was modified, so you'll see a question now asking the employer if they do or don't want domestic partner coverage made available. For existing groups, we can add it at renewal, either through the form of a letter on company letterhead signed by the authorized signer. It can be an email from the employer, as long as their email signature certainly looks like it's coming from the company that we're insuring, and they've got their logos on that email. Or it can be through an updated employer application. There is a domestic partner affidavit that's available in FormFire. Anthem doesn't need to receive that, but we suggest that the employer obtain that and keep it on file for their records. The other good news is we're adding new renewal dates, and I know we've gotten some questions about this. So any group that was written prior to January 1 of 2021 will always have a May renewal. Those May renewals are out. For new groups with effective dates of January, February, March, or April of 2021, those groups will renew in January of 2022. Any new groups with effective dates of May, June, July, or August will renew again in May 1 of 2022. And any new groups with effective dates of September, October, November, or December will renew again in September 1 of 2022. So EFT, as a reminder, is mandatory on all SOCA groups. If there is a debit block, and sometimes you don't know and we don't know when that happens, but we wanted to make sure that you had Anthem's ACH ID so we could be whitelisted with the employer's bank. With, you know, hacking and security issues, some banks have put some really stringent guidelines on who can get into that employer's account. So important for them to know when we go to take that draft on the first business day of the month, what our ACH ID is, so we can take that draft appropriately. The other thing that we changed last May that we wanted to make sure that people remembered, because occasionally we get questions, you know, Nancy, I'm not sure what this $10 invoice is for. SOCA BP product dues are $2.50 per enrolled medical employee. And we are going to take a separate draft on a monthly basis for those SOCA BP product dues. So your employers will actually see that draft come out as well. So please remember to talk to them about the product dues. And from time to time, you know, Anthem.com could be down, or the broker portal could be down. Cornerstone may be involved in a meeting. If you ever need to get an SBC or a summary of benefits, there's manual links that you can click into to get those documents. And then the other thing we feel is really important, even though we're in the midst of a pandemic, there's a lot of businesses that are still working virtually and remotely. There's a lot of business that's still moving from carrier to carrier. So we've got open enrollment books available in PDF file along with summary of benefits. Super important that outside of what is my deductible, what is my out-of-pocket maximum, there's things like Smart Shopper, a lot of our ongoing touch point programs, special offers at Anthem that employees are not going to know about unless they get that open enrollment book. So please make sure you reach back out to your Cornerstone broker advisor for those marketing collateral pieces. The other thing we get a lot of questions on, and again, it's because carriers have different policies. Our valid waivers include anything that's spousal, anybody that's under the age of 26 and still covered under a parent's plan, a dependent that's over 26 that may be disabled, that certainly needs to be certified by a medical practitioner, someone that's covered by Medicare or Medicaid, any on or off exchange individual policy with Anthem or with another carrier, grandfathered or grandmothered individual coverage with Anthem or with another carrier. Maybe somebody has multiple jobs and they are participating in insurance benefits through a second or maybe a third employer's plan, or any recognized religion that opposes health insurance. And I think the most common one that we see is in regards to the Amish community. 1099 employees are eligible to be covered under SOCA BP, but no more than 50% of the group can be 1099. And those 1099 employees can only be working for the employer group that we are writing, and not a true subcontractor working for multiple employers. So another thing that we changed last year, again, to try to streamline the process, is introducing MEWA.io. So MEWA.io is actually the communication vehicle between the SOCA BP plan administrator and our broker and employer partners. So this was designed to streamline the termination process, as well as notifying employers and brokers when the opportunity arises to have one of those Medicare primary Cs packages go out. So what that process looks like is Anthem sends a file over the weekends to MEWA.io. MEWA.io processes that file every Monday, identifying terminations from the previous week that were completed on Anthem's employer access site or by MEWA member maintenance if there needed to be some type of manual interaction. On Tuesdays, brokers will receive a consolidated email of any terminations that MEWA.io is waiting for their employers or any eligible Medicare people where the employer would be contacted about that Cs package. Also on Tuesdays, the actual employer group would receive any termination verification requests that MEWA.io is in need of, or letting them know that that Medicare exception package is available because someone's turning 65. There are reminder emails sent out at day 3 and day 5. If there is no response to those inquiries to the employer, My COBRA plan is actually going to be the entity that actually sends a letter to the employers where they have not received any response back to MEWA.io on those questions. So again, in our March broker update that you should have received or will be receiving, we've included a copy of what that template letter looks like that the employer receives and why that information is needed. That would apply to COBRA as well as state continuation. So again, weekly files from MEWA.io are sent to My COBRA plan. My COBRA plan actually sets up the COBRA or state continuation notification to the actual end member. The other thing that we've made available on Anthem's employer access site, of course, FormFire is no longer the source of truth for a lot of documents. Those documents are now housed in Anthem's employer access site. That includes the summary plan description, or SPD, and any other compliance documents posting. So where those items used to be available in the Resource Center and FormFire, those are all available now in the Employer Access site. So super, super important that you make sure your employers understand the need to register and be familiar with Employer Access, as well as brokers to have access to that site as well. So our 2021 plan offerings, very robust, certainly based on feedback that we get from our broker partners. We've got a variety of PPO plans. We've got our three-tiered options plans. We also have a very robust HSA platform. As a reminder, any benefit plan on the HSA side that has an embedded deductible has the letter E in the naming convention. So that 2,500 HSA has no E in the name. So that is our one aggregate plan. Of course, as a reminder, an aggregate plan, the entire family deductible needs to be satisfied if you're enrolled in some coverage other than single. So super, super important that you watch that. And of course, we've got our new HMO link plans available. Those are only available for employers in the Cincinnati and Columbus markets currently. So watch for more to come on that as we extend that high performance network. So one of the things
Nancy,
that
it looks like we have a question here.
Oh, okay.
You mentioned that to see the three-tier pharmacy, it has to be an options plan, but all of the renewals have come out with a three-tiered pharmacy, even though they aren't options plans.
Oh, no. So, okay, the options medical plans have a level 1 and a level 2 in-network deductible. It doesn't have anything to do with the pharmacy side. Those are medical plans that kind of take the in-network benefit, gives a lower deductible, a better co-insurance level for level 1 in-network. Level 2 in-network has a higher deductible, less or a higher co-insurance. So it goes from 90-10 level 1 to 70-30 level 2. What's nice about the options plans, though, it's going to generate a lower premium, but level 1 and level 2 in-network share the same out-of-pocket. So on the formulary, so the RX side, we're using the RX Choice tiered network. We've used that for a couple of years now on our ACA plans, but it's new for MEWA, new business beginning January 1. And it applies to renewals beginning May 1. So your level 1 providers as a standard are going to be your CVS's, your Targets, Walmart, Sam's Club, Kroger, Costco, and Giant Eagle. Who's glaringly level 2 is going to be Walgreens and Rite Aid. We do have an RX Choice tiered network directory that covers all 50 states. And down to and including kind of your local mom and pop pharmacies. So you absolutely can get that from your Cornerstone broker advisor. For members that want to use a level 2 pharmacy, so if they want to go to Walgreens, they can do that. There's an additional $10 penalty, I'm going to call it, in copay. So they're going to make an additional $10 in a copayment or 10% if it's an HSA plan. We just don't get pricing that is as aggressive from Walgreens or Rite Aids, which is why there's an additional contribution on the member side. So I hope that answers your question. If not, we can circle back at that on the end. And then, of course, our Anthem Link plans. These are our new HMO-based policies. Again, very specific currently to the Cincinnati and Columbus service areas only. So if you're quoting a group maybe in Toledo or Cleveland, you won't even see these come up as options. There's 3 traditional PPO plans, 2 qualified high deductible HSA plans that can be quoted. I like these, again, if I'm quoting in those markets as maybe part of a dual or a triple option, certainly going to give you a lower price point. So again, if you have a group that's having problems, maybe meeting participation, has a younger portion of the population that just doesn't feel they need insurance, this may be an option for you. Again, preventative care under the link plans specifically includes our preventative care incentive package, including well-being coach total, which is digital and telephonic. It also includes Sydney My Health rewards up to $150 for participating in certain activities. Also includes our annual adult wellness and flu shot reward of $50. What is important to note on the link plans, though, is that Smart Shopper is not part of the program for those HMO plans. Again, you need to search the Blue Connection HMO is the network that you're searching out on Provider Finder. And then sole proprietors, we began offering coverage to sole proprietors last July, so July 1 of 2020. They've got to meet all the same criteria for the most part as any other employer group that we insure under SOCA BP. So they've got to be headquartered in Ohio. They have to work 30 or more hours per week. They have to be a member of a participating chamber in good standing. What is specific to sole props is they have got to receive their wages on IRS Form 1040 Schedule C or Schedule SE and Schedule F. Absolutely no other tax documentation is acceptable. Unfortunately, we're not able to accept any type of affidavit saying they are going to be getting Schedule C because something could change 6 months from now to where they change their tax filing status. So we can only issue groups that physically have obtained a Schedule C already. And what makes a sole proprietor different from a one-person group is a carrier is not able to decline to write a small employer in the state of Ohio. What a carrier can decline to write is a sole proprietor because they are not considered an employer group. They're a sole proprietor. So underwriting can decline to issue a risk factor for a sole proprietor that they are uncomfortable with the medical conditions that are disclosed. So again, very important on that tax piece. And because we've seen so much growth in our sole proprietor market, and based on popular broker requests, we're now able to offer, beginning April 1st, we can sell sole proprietors and include dental and vision policies along with the medical. So what is great news about that is on our sole props, we saw a lot of people still want dental and vision. They were buying those through Anthem's individual dental and vision opportunities. So this really allows us to repackage everything back together. So again, for existing sole props, it can be added at renewal. Any sole props written January, February, or March, you can work with your Cornerstone broker advisor to add dental and vision April 1st. So it really allows us to package one invoice, one ID card. It's going to be very easy for them to access their benefits through our Sydney app and save themselves basically from getting multiple invoices from Anthem because of how we had to set them up. So the rate sheets that come with the pre-screens or that you're actually getting with your new business quotes have been updated to include the availability of those group benefits. So they've got no waiting periods like they would have on the individual side. So we're super happy about that. And then Smart Shopper, is something we definitely think is a benefit differentiator between us and some of our other competitors. It's included in all of our small group products. So that's grandmothered, it's MEWA, it's ACA, other than anything that is HMO related. So no Smart Shopper for any Anthem Link or group HMO products. The great news is it comes at no additional cost for the employer, so they don't need to do anything extra. It provides more than 40 shoppable services that really allow the Smart Shopper team to update and educate our members on who else is available when they've got a non-emergency based procedure. Could be a back surgery, it could be any type of PET scan. It's things that are not through our advanced imaging, but it allows members to get educated on other high quality, lower cost options. And the benefit to the member is they're actually going to participate in some of the savings. So again, the key for this all working is, again, it's non-urgent based services. So they've been recommended to get a procedure or a surgery. They're either going to call one of the Smart Shopper advocates, which we recommend first go around, so they get familiar with how the program works. They get registered. If they opt to go to one of the lower cost, high quality options, within 4 to 6 weeks after that procedure has been processed on our system, the member is actually going to earn a reward, which is sharing in the savings for that particular item. So super, super important. Again, that's all spelled out in the open enrollment booklets. There are separate flyers for Smart Shopper as well. And as far as miscellaneous changes and reminders, again, we can't stress how important it is that employers as well as our broker partners have access to that employer portal. That is going to be where your ads, changes, and terminations get processed in real time, very, very quickly as soon as the transaction is completed. Again, employers are going to be able to access their invoices online. They will also always be sent a copy in the mail. Unfortunately, we can't control the delivery timing of the U.S. Postal Service. They would also be able to request updated ID cards if the dog ate somebody's card. Again, if there's any questions you've got on the employer access portal, we do have trainings available. You can reach out to your Cornerstone broker advisor and they can get that updated flyer over if that's something that your employer would like to participate in. And of course, any questions on enrollment or billing, our friends at Cornerstone are there to help you with those items as well. And with that, I am going to try to get this flipped over to Vince. Okay, Vince, you should be able to drive.
Awesome. Can everybody, Nancy, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Well, good morning, everybody. As Nancy mentioned earlier, my name is Vince Sowell. I am the Central Ohio Anthem rep with Cornerstone. And what I'm going to be going over today is pretty much our ACA recap. Now, before I get started with this, I do want to mention that our ACA rates, we have seen a couple reductions over the last couple of months with our rates. So if you have not quoted our ACA recently, please do so. Please reach out to your local Cornerstone broker advisor to obtain those quotes. And you definitely would be excited over those new rates that we are offering, across the state. As Nancy mentioned earlier, this yourtimematters.com website is a microsite that houses a lot of our sales material and resources. You can access broker news and information. So if you have not visited this microsite yet, please do so. There's a lot of helpful material that is posted on that website. So we have some general underwriting, information here. Participation is at 75% after valid waiver. So the same as what we were seeing on the SOCA benefit plan. A difference here, at least 2 eligible employees residing in Ohio with at least 1 Ohio employee enrolling. So this is a little different when we compare this to the SOCA benefit plan. The SOCA benefit plan, it's a true 2 to 50 plan, so we need at least 2 employees unless it's a true sole proprietor. On the ACA side, we just need at least 2 full-time employees, and then with 1 valid waiver, we can move forward with 1 employee enrolling into the plan. And then outside of that, any amount of employees residing outside of Ohio are eligible for the plan. Same thing here with the dual and triple option. We require 3 enrolled employees for a dual option, and then 10 enrolled for a triple option. In regards to COBRA administration, it is not included on the ACA plans, but if needed, we do have separate pricing available. Again, please reach out to your local Cornerstone broker advisor for more information in regards to that separate pricing. Of course, Medicare is primary for employers with 2 to 19 total full-time and part-time employees, and then Anthem is primary for employers with 20 plus full-time and part-time employees. In regards to the new sold case paperwork, we will accept this all the way up until the end of the month prior to the effective date. If you do need any, exceptions on any additional submissions after that, please again reach out to your local Cornerstone broker advisor or your Cornerstone new business team at the email address provided on the screen. The one thing that we always want to note in regards to that late submission paperwork, as long as we're setting the right expectation with the group, letting them know that there could be a slight delay with their ID cards and that welcome email or approval email, we're good to go on our end. Again, just please update your local Cornerstone broker advisor so they can, again, let us know and we can, keep our new business team updated on those late groups coming in. And then the last bullet point here, deposit checks are no longer required on the ACA submissions. A one-time draft for deposits or recurring drafting is available at the time of submission, or online or check payment is available via the employer access website. So the group can wait to get their invoice in the mail, and they can set up their billing options on that employer access website that we have been mentioning today. So here we have our small group ACA submission checklist. This is pretty much everything that we need to move forward with that group. So again, if you do not have this available, or if you do not have this already, again, please reach out to your local Cornerstone rep and they will be able to provide this to you along with our updated EFT form as well. So again, the small group ACA checklist is on the left-hand side and the EFT form is on the right-hand side. So our ACA groups are receiving electronic invoices via the employer access portal only. If they did want to opt out of the electronic electronic invoices, email will need to be sent to the online billing opt-out at anthem.com. And then in regards to our 2-tier products, our PPO and HSA plans, we're still using the full Blue Access network, the same network that we're using on the SOCA benefit plans. But we are using our select 4-tier formulary. So this is different from what we're using on the SOCA benefit plan. The SOCA benefit plan is using our essential 4-tier formulary, and our ACA plans are using our select 4-tier formulary. But we are still using the RX Choice Tier Pharmacy Network. This pharmacy network has actually been on the ACA platform for a couple of years now. So if you have any ACA, current ACA groups, hopefully they are familiar with this RX Choice Tiered network. And then our HMO plans are using our Pathway Group HMO network, using the same Select 4-tier formulary, and again, that RX Choice Tiered Pharmacy network. And then our new ACA Link plans that Nancy mentioned earlier, we just rolled these out last year at the Q4 of 2020, but these new ACA Link plans are also available on the ACA platform as well. We're using our Blue Connection HMO network, the same Select 4-tier formulary, and again, that RX Choice Tiered Pharmacy network. And then as Nancy mentioned earlier, we are using ActWise for our HSA plans. Now, we've been using the ActWise platform through PNC for a couple of years now on the ACA platform as well. Again, we just rolled that out 1/1 on the SOCA benefit plan. But again, we just want to note that we are using a new HSA custodian that is WealthCare Saver. Again, this is only a name change. There is no change to the account numbers or debit cards or any of that other information for our members. And then last but not least, domestic partner coverage is also available on the ACA platform as well. And then as Nancy mentioned earlier, we wanted to provide these SBC and SOB posting sites. We've been receiving a lot of questions on, hey, can you send me that SBC for the 6350 HSA plan? Of course, we don't mind doing that, but wanted to make sure that you guys had this information available at all times. So again, we wanted to provide these SBC and SOB posting sites. You can either use the 4-digit contract code to search the plan, or if you want to copy and paste the plan name into that website, it'll pull up that information as well. And again, same thing here, open enrollment booklets are available for employee meetings. Again, please contact your local Cornerstone broker advisor for more information. And then this is the last bullet point here. This is something that we actually kind of mentioned last year during our broker roadshow in the fall, but our ACA 90-day maintenance RX will be obtained via opt-out home delivery. Our members on maintenance medications will need to receive their prescriptions through Ingenio RX Mail, which is our PBM, or CVS Retail for 90 days, or they have the ability to opt out by contacting the customer service number on the back of their ID card to remain on that 30-day retail. They will receive a letter along with messaging at the pharmacy reminding them of this requirement. So same information here that Nancy covered earlier in regards to valid waivers and 1099 contractors. In regards to the valid waivers, same thing here that we're, allowing on the SOCA benefit side, spousal coverage covered by, a parent's plan until the age of 26 or proof of disability over the age of 26, covered by Medicare or Medicaid, on or off exchange individual coverage, grandfathered or grandmother individual coverage, covered through a second employer's plan, and then any recognized religion that opposes health insurance, which again is usually going to be the Amish. And then in regards to 1099 contractors, they are eligible to be covered, but no more than 50% of the group can be 1099 employees. And they must be 1099 only for that employer group that they are enrolling with. So again, we will accept 1099 contractors, but the main thing is not more than 50% of the group can be paid by 1099. So here we just have pretty much a snapshot of our 2021 ACA product guide. Now we have multiple pages of of our plans here. The good thing is, as I mentioned, that yourtimematters.com website does have this product guide available on that website. So if you did need a copy, please go to that website so you can download a copy of this ACA product guide. And then again, as Nancy just mentioned, we do have this RX Choice Tier Pharmacy Network. Now again, this has been on the ACA products for a couple years now. So again, if you have any ACA current groups, they should be familiar with this RX Choice Tier Network. But again, your level 2 copays are going to be at a $10 higher copay compared to your level 1 pharmacy. So again, as Nancy mentioned, your level 1 pharmacies would include about 25,000 preferred pharmacies within our network. A lot of the local ones that we're already using: CVS, Target, Walmart, Sam's Club, Kroger, Costco, Giant Eagle. And then your level 2 pharmacies would include Walgreens, any Walgreens-owned pharmacies, Rite Aid, and then a lot of your local mom-and-pop pharmacies. Now, again, we do have a full list of all the pharmacies in Ohio and whether they're going to be level 1 or level 2. So again, if needed, please reach out to your local Cornerstone rep and they can provide that information for you guys. And then, as I mentioned, we have seen a couple rate reductions to our ACA plans, and so we have seen an increase in activity quoting and enrolling the groups. And a lot of the questions that we've been receiving are, across the state are, what are these focus and plus plans that we're seeing in our quotes? And so what we wanted to do here is just kind of break it down and kind of show you what is really embedded with that focus and plus plan. So with the focus plan, we have unlimited primary care office visits for dependent children under the age of 19 at a $0 copay. That's huge right there. And then it also includes our Live Health Online Teledoc in a Box service at a $5 copay. For any members over the age of 19, your primary care visits are only going to be $20. Your specialist office visits are at $50, preferred labs are at $20, and your urgent care is at $100. So that's pretty much what's embedded with that focus plan. The main, focus, I guess, on that plan is that unlimited primary care visits for, dependent children under the age of 19. And again, that $20 office visit for members over the age of 19. So again, that's really the main focal point with that focus plan. And then we also have these plus plans. Now, the plus plan includes our preventive care incentive package, which Nancy covered a little, a couple minutes ago, but it also includes our fitness package. So again, that preventive care incentive package includes the $50 incentive for your annual adult wellness exam and flu shot, the additional $150 when they complete their Sydney My Health Rewards, which is pretty much a health assessment that they're completing on their Sydney mobile health app. But they also have the ability to earn an additional $400 per year for any member 18 and older just by visiting a gym 50 times within a 6-month time period. So under this plan, a member over the age of 18 has the ability to earn $600 per year with this plus plan. So this plus plan is really giving, a good, incentive back to our members just by, staying healthy and again, giving them that incentive for their, going to the gym at least 50 times in a 6-month time period. And it also includes our Wellbeing Coach Total, which is our digital and telephonic tool that, helps members stop smoking and then also assists with weight management. So again, if more information is needed in regards to these two plans, again, please reach out to your local Cornerstone broker advisor. And then as we mentioned, we have these new Anthem Link HMO plans. So again, those Anthem Link HMO plans do include that preventive care incentive package that we just covered. They have a $0 copay for office visits for injury and illness at all ages. But the one thing to note here, that Smart Shopper program where we're driving our members to those incentivized locations, sharing the cost, unfortunately is not included with any of our HMO products. And then again, one thing to note here, when you are searching this network on our Anthem Find a Doctor tool, we are using the Blue Connection HMO network for these Anthem Link HMO plans. Again, that is available currently in the Columbus area, and we did partner with Ohio Health and Nationwide Children's. And then again, in the Cincinnati area, it is also available for small groups, and we did partner with Tri-Health and Cincinnati Children's Hospital. A couple things to note here, all of our ACA small group plans, so that includes our PPO, HSA, HMO, and Anthem Link HMO plans, all include an annual adult eye exam at a $20 copay. And then also a couple things to note here. Some of our plans do have an RX deductible prior to the RX copays, and that applies to our PPO plans. So again, please check those summary of benefits if you do run across any of those plans that had that type of, RX deductible structure. Again, here we have our Smart Shopper program. This is honestly one of our favorite programs that we like to talk about. It's embedded with our, ACA, PPO, and HSA plans. Again, not available with any of our HMO products, but we also have this plan or this program available on the SOCA benefits side, as Nancy mentioned earlier. Over 40 shoppable services covering hundreds of medical procedures as you can see, we have anything ranging from annual blood work all the way up to a back surgery or a colonoscopy. So again, it's an easy 3-step process. Step 1, you're either going online or calling a customer service rep, which we really actually recommend having that member reach out over the phone, speak with someone. But then what they'll do is they'll use their zip code. Within that zip code, they'll be able to shop those services at any of those incentivized locations. They'll have that procedure. And then the last step, 4 to 6 weeks after that claim has been processed, that member will receive that check in the mail up to that specific amount. So again, it's a very easy 3-step process. That member can either go online or they can call in to our, Smart Shopper customer service team to get that appointment scheduled. Again, we do recommend them working over the phone with that customer service team. Now, the last thing I wanted to touch on here, again, as I mentioned, we've seen an increase in our ACA activity over the last couple of months. And a lot of the questions we were receiving, were surrounded, or I guess, in regards to what do our members or customers really receive after the group has been, submitted, after they've been enrolled? What do our members receive after that? And so what I really wanted to touch on was what we call our welcome experience. And so our groups are receiving 2 items. They're going to receive their formal contract that is mailed to them. That formal contract is on the right-hand side. But they'll also receive a personalized URL, or what we call a PURL. Now that PURL will let them access a custom information page with their group number and contact information. It'll allow them to access links to resources that they can easily share with their employees. We'll have business videos on topics like our employer access website or specialty products and benefits and our Anthem Health Guide. We'll have links to our plan administration tools, and then also news feed from our benefits guide blog. So with that, our members are going to receive a secure registration email. Now, this is sent approximately 4 hours after that enrollment has been completed in our system. This is sent to all subscribers and dependents, and it will provide them a code so they can register prior to receiving their HCID in the mail. This is pretty much a snapshot of what that email would look like when that member is receiving that digital ID card. Again, this is sent to all subscribers, informing them that their printed ID card is on the way. Hey, we got it processed, it's coming in the mail. But in the meantime, if you need your member information, please download this card, and again, so you can have that information at all times. This is a snapshot of our welcome brochure. Now, this is sent with the ID information for all new and renewing members on pretty much how to get started. And then this is pretty much a snapshot of what that member will receive when their new ID card has been generated and is available. And then from there, we have what we call a personalized 3-touch email campaign that is sent to our new and renewing subscribers that promotes our top digital solutions and provides them benefit information. Now, this is sent 5 days prior or up to 14 days after the effective date. So the first email we have here is geared, or kind of really focused on our Sydney Health app. So, where to download that Sydney Mobile Health app, what you can access on there, your deductible information, your out-of-pocket, your explanation of benefits, all of that information, and where you can download that, how you can access that information on our Sydney Mobile Health app. The next email is sent 1 week after that Sydney Mobile Health app email, and this one is geared towards choosing a primary care physician if you haven't already. So again, going to that Find a Doctor tool on Anthem.com, so you can, of course, make sure that your primary care physician that you're choosing is within that network. And then last but not least, the final email, the final email is in regards to finding care. Now, this is sent 1 week after that PCP email. And again, this is geared towards finding care at the best cost. So how can you save money with your prescription drug plan? How can your Sydney mobile health app provide more value for your plan? And again, how can we ultimately keep those costs down for you throughout that year? So again, what I really wanted to do here is kind of show you what our members are really receiving after the group has been submitted and enrolled. So hopefully this provides a little bit more, clarity in regards to what our members are actually being sent from Anthem in regards to their ID card, and again, more information on how they can sign up on that Sydney mobile health app, choosing a primary care physician, and again, finding care at the best cost for that member. Before I kind of move over to specialty, were there any questions on the ACA recap? Anything that I need to kind of go into more detail on?
Vince, we do have 2 questions under here, and I think one of them will probably go back to Nancy, but one of the questions was asked, will copies of these slides be available? And the answer to that is yes. The second question we had, and it says a sole proprietor can have employees. Will you write a sole proprietor with an employee? And that was the question.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead. Go ahead, Nancy. Go ahead, Nancy.
I mean, if it is, again, a sole proprietor getting Schedule C should not have other employees. Typically, again, I mean, I just had a sole proprietor. Start as a sole proprietor. He filed paperwork with the Secretary of State as a sole proprietor, and whatever widgets he was building, like 3 months into his business, it's booming and he's hiring employees. So he had to go back to the Secretary of State and refile and file for an employer tax ID number. So I don't know that we can write a sole prop that's got employees, because that would kind of nullify kind of the sole prop piece. Sole props are a person, and that person can have a family, a spouse, but they don't have employees.
So hopefully that answers the question. Yeah, obviously, if we need to go a little bit more detail, we definitely can after the presentation. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and send it over to Jeff Reed, who is our Specialty Connect rep, and he will be going over our specialty updates.
Hey, Vince, I think you're going to need to move the slides because Jeff isn't a presenter.
Okay, that's fine. Is he on?
Yep. Somebody may need to unmute Jeff on the Nelson side or Cornerstone side.
Jeff Reed, you said?
Jeffrey Reed, yep.
Okay. Okay, Jeff, you should be able to talk now.
Hey everybody, my name is Jeff. I work with Nancy and Caitlin in the northern half of the state for specialty group size 2 to 50. I do have a partner who works in the south with Kathy and Robin. Her name is Chelsea Winkler, and we both work with Vince, so you'll get to know us all very, very well. There's a couple things I do want to talk to you about today, and I know we're up against the time here, and I appreciate you guys sticking around just to listen to some specialty updates, and I know Nancy has a few renewal things to go over, so I'll make this really, really quick here. We've done a lot to make our products better, to make installing the specialty for the SOCA BP plans a whole lot easier, and also we're giving away free money. And on this next slide here, it talks about a whole health savings credit that the group can receive based on their medical enrollment at time of ancillary installation. They can receive these credits that are listed here, depending on, again, on how large of how their medical enrollment looks. This is a one-time credit to their medical bill that's issued within the first 90 days of the effective date of the ancillary line. It is for non-voluntary plans only. So voluntary plans are excluded, also disability is excluded. And we need a minimum of $25,000 in order to issue this credit for the life benefit. Easiest way to break this down is a 2-life group. If they were to add $25,000 in life, they would receive a $100 credit. The life rate on our SOCA BP plans is flat out amazing. It's 25 cents per thousand. That includes AD&D. And if a 2-life group adds that, that is $6.25 per employee per month. That equals $12.50 per month the group would have to pay for that 2-life group. And it takes 8 months to equal that $100 credit. So they're essentially getting 12 months of life coverage for the price of 4, with 8 months being free. I mentioned how we are making it easier to enroll in the ancillary lines, and on this next slide, it talks about how to enroll. If you have a group and you've gone through FormFire and they've got the medical all in tow, but you haven't submitted yet, so they come back to you and say, we want to add life or dental or vision. We've made that easier with the benefit modification form, the signed proposal, and a simple IM01 enrollment census. Those 3 documents would then be uploaded along with the medical for FormFire through FormFire. Once that group has a group number, we've made it even easier to enroll by having just a few forms to fill out, and then you'll send that back to newbusiness@cornerstone.com and work with your Cornerstone rep. But it's a benefit modification form, the signed rates, a benefit plan change authorization form, and a very, very simple census. The census is their member ID number, their first and last name, and a simple yes next to which line of coverage they are adding if they are currently listed on the medical. If for some reason they did waive medical and they want to enroll in the ancillary benefits, we would at that point need a full application filled out to gather all their demographic information, and that would be also sent to New Business at Cornerstone along with everything else. That would not have to go back through FormFire at all. And I had mentioned, of course, on how we've been doing things to upgrade our benefits. And on this very next slide here, we talk about some of the great things that we're doing. Our non-voluntary plans for dental and vision, we no longer require a minimum employer premium contribution. Best part about that is, small groups, they just don't want to contribute. They don't want to add extra to their operating costs. So we've made it so they can add these benefits for their employee at the cost of the employee, and they don't add anything extra to their overall day-to-day operating costs. We do have discounting for grandmother and ACA groups based on the association discount. That association discount on MEWA groups is already baked into the rates. However, if you do have a group that has an ACA or a grandmother medical, or they're coming to us as a standalone, just let your Cornerstone rep know the name of the chamber, and we can get this run giving the same discounts that they would receive through MEWA. We have $50,000 guarantee issue on our life coverage. Great part of that is no medical underwriting involved to get that, which means every group that qualifies, every one of their eligible employees also qualifies for $50,000 guaranteed, or up to $50,000 in life coverage. Vision plan designs have changed as the cost of frames go up. The $130 material allowance just isn't cutting it anymore. So we've added $150, $180, and $200 material allowances. And we've also expanded our dental and vision portfolio for the SOCA benefit plan groups. When you get those rate sheets, if they're just not cutting it compared to what the group currently has, feel free to reach out to your Cornerstone rep, and they can get with me, and we can get a few more vision plans. And I do have access to my entire portfolio on the dental side, so we can go ahead and pretty much match anything that you're looking for. In addition to that, I do have underwriting authority for dental on the SOCA BP plans of 10 plus lives. And I also have it on the ACA and grandmother side for dental with 26 plus lives and life and disability with 10 plus lives. So if there too, you just need a few points to help close that sale, go ahead and reach out to your Cornerstone rep, and they will get a hold of me, and I can apply that discounting for the group and get it back to you as quickly as possible. And that is all I have. I know, Nancy, you've got some information on renewals to go over.
do. Vince, if you want to just move to the next slide. Oh,
Sorry about that. I can send it back.
yeah, just again, there's only one slide. Again, all of our MEWA renewals are out. So hopefully you've gotten that from your Cornerstone advisor. Again, Caitlin, Kelly, and Robin are the account managers that are working very, very hard with you and with your Cornerstone benefit advisor to certainly get the renewal options out that you need in order to get those groups renewed. So when it comes to renewals, again, we're asking for your help. Once you know a group is renewed, please make sure that you notify your Cornerstone broker advisor so they can notify Anthem's account manager that that group is renewed. They can work with you to see if there's any open enrollment items that are needed. Certainly those booklets are available for renewing groups as well. For any benefit changes, again, on existing groups, we can offer a dual option with 3 or more enrolled, triple option with 10 or more enrolled. So groups are able to add plans, change plans at renewal time. Again, we'll need a signed alternate sheet and the administrative and benefit change authorization form. You'll certainly coordinate any plan changes with your Cornerstone broker advisor. As Jeff just talked about, we have great news on the specialty side. Very, very robust plans. There's whole health savings credits that the groups are able to take advantage of that credit off their medical invoice for adding 1 or more lines of specialty. Again, very easy to get added. Signed proposal, benefit modification form, that administrative and benefit plan change authorization form. Certainly we can do it through a very simple enrollment spreadsheet. If someone is a waiver on the medical, we would potentially need an updated application to get that person built. Hopefully we're not going to see any group terminations, but we know we are not able to satisfy necessarily 100% of the people 100% of the time, although we certainly try to. If you need to submit a group termination, please make sure that's submitted timely to your Cornerstone broker advisor so they can let Anthem's account managers know. We can get the group terminated timely in the system so we don't continue to pay claims beyond the date that they are with Anthem. And of course, open enrollment changes. Open enrollment for your MEWA groups is April 1st through May 31st. Any open enrollment changes are able to be done on the Employer Access website. Any open enrollment changes do have a May 1, 2021 effective date. So again, another important reason for groups to have access to Employer Access. And of course, open enrollment on the specialty side for dental or vision, existing groups that have those lines of coverage where employees have changed their mind and want to enroll. Certainly it would be open enrollment for those specialty products as well. And then on the next slide, as a reminder, we just, again, small business onboarding, very, as Vince mentioned, we've got some URLs that are very specific to employers. We've got this available on the renewal side as well. We want employers to become familiar with their plans as well so they can be good stewards back to their employees on how their plan works. Certainly, they've got access to electronic flyers. If they don't want to go search Employer Access, they can certainly reach out to you, our broker partners, and you can facilitate back with your Cornerstone broker advisor to get any of the flyers. Maybe it's RX Choice and how that tiered network works. Maybe it's the entire network listing, A lot of times we're seeing small employers have a vast amount of employees because people are still working virtually outside of the state of Ohio. So very, very important that employees understand how their plan works. And we want to make sure that you have the materials to help us communicate that information, especially at renewal. And with that, we want to thank everybody for their time. If there's any additional questions, again, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your business, whether it's new business or renewing business. We know you have choices when it comes to making recommendations to your employers, and we absolutely, truly appreciate your support. Nelson, I'm not
Great,
sure.
thank you, Nancy.
Any other
Yeah,
questions?
no, I do not see any other questions on there. I just want to thank everyone at our partners and friends over at Anthem for their time today, as well as the brokers that were involved. And again, there will be, the slide presentations will be emailed out. And with that, we are going to end today's session. Thank you, everyone.